The Zelda series is full of magical soundtracks, even if a couple fell flat on their face. But where does Tears of the Kingdom stand musically in comparison to the other games? Will it leave the likes of Ocarina of Time and Breath of the Wild in the dust, or will it crash and burn below the underdogs of the franchise? Bro, what? Today we're going to figure all that out because we're ranking every single mainline Zelda game by its soundtrack. Alright, so I'm going to be ranking these chronologically, starting with the OG Zelda and ending with Tears of the Kingdom. So stick around to see how I rank that compared to everything else. F tier is for ear trash. D, pretty mid. C, it's like good but not super special. B, C but better. A, I like it. S, holds a special place in my heart. Alright, so Zelda 1, D tier. I know, this introduced the main theme, and it introduced the main theme. Like, that's really about all this has going for it. I mean, I kind of like that dungeon soundtrack, but there are only like a small handful of tracks, and this just can't compare to this. I'm sorry. Alright, Zelda 2. Moving on, Link to the Past now. Now this one is a pretty easy A tier for me. This game is really special in what it did for the future of the franchise, musically and otherwise. It introduced us to Zelda's theme, Kakariko Village, Hyrule Castle, and also this little bit from the Dark World theme that snuck its way into the rest of the series. I'm going to be making a whole video on this in the near future. Subscribe for that. But in the meantime, here's a quick summary. So we're in what looks like a minor key, because we're starting on this C minor chord. Then we go into this F major chord pretty much immediately. Now this is while the melody's playing. Now what's interesting about the F major chord is that in the key of C minor, what we'd expect here is an F minor chord. We're expecting to hear that A flat right there, but instead we're introduced to this A natural. Now this corresponds to what's called the Dorian mode of the major scale. Again, we're going to get to that in a future video, but what's interesting is that the next chord reintroduces that A flat. That's going to be really important for pretty much the rest of the franchise moving forward, so I'm going to point it out whenever something important like that comes down in a little bit. Alright, moving on to Link's Awakening. I'm going to have to put this in C tier. I really like a good handful of the songs here. Ballad of the Windfish is beautiful. And here's the first instance of those chords I was talking about earlier. As you're ascending the mountains, this theme plays. So here we're really heavily relying on that natural 6, but here we go back to that minor 6.
As great as this soundtrack is, the one problem I have with it is that it's got really limited instrumentation due to the hardware of the Game Boy.
Alright, now Ocarina of Time. We're immediately greeted with this F major 13 chord, followed by that C9 chord. Later on, we're introduced to such classic songs as The Lost Woods. This is one of the first Zelda songs I learned when I was, 13. And one of my personal favorites from the Zelda series overall is Song of Storms. Here's another one of those songs that relies on those chords I was talking about earlier. And now all of this is just the music that you passively listen to. The whole gist of the game is that you're actually playing the music. I don't even have time to get into the Ocarina. This feature bumps Ocarina of Time from where I would have originally put it in B tier up to A tier. I'm not going to spend quite as much time on Majora's Mask. It reuses a handful of tracks from Ocarina of Time, as well as the Ocarina itself, but in my personal opinion, the songs that you get to learn on the Ocarina of Time aren't generally as interesting, and the rest of the soundtrack, there just isn't as much there. It's not quite as robust, though I will say, Song of Healing is chef's kiss, as well as Astral Observatory. Just because it's in C tier doesn't mean it's not got some special songs to it. Alright, now this is going to be interesting. We're on to the Oracle games. Now that's Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons. It's kind of one game, kind of two. It's confusing. Don't have any idea what they sound like. Full OST with timestamps. That's exactly what I'm going for.
Hi, welcome to Chili's.
And now on to Wind Waker. Wind Waker for me is a pretty solid B tier. This includes some of my favorite tracks, including the ocean theme and Dragonroost Island. But wait a second. I don't actually remember much music outside of that. Huh. This actually isn't that memorable. In fact, I'd even say it's less so than Majora's Mask, so I think I'm gonna have to put it in C tier. Now onto the Four Swords games, or Four Swords trilogy of sorts. That's Four Swords, Four Swords Adventures, and the Minish Cap. Alright, now Twilight Princess.
What the dog doing?
Minna's Lament's classic. Got the Hyrule Field theme. This one's fun. But you know what's gonna boost this whole soundtrack up a tier? Our first B tier, out of all of these. On to Phantom Hourglass. Linebeck's theme is the only thing that saves this. Not enough to bring it up to C tier. Alright, now for Spirit Tracks. I really like the overworld theme. I haven't learned this one yet. There we go. D tier for that one. Ooh. Ooh. That's definitely an upgrade on the Link to the Past intro. Another one that I haven't played and not too familiar with the soundtrack on this one. I've heard that Laurel Castle is really good. There it is again. I don't know if you heard it, but those were those chords again that we were talking about earlier in the video. Ooh. You know what? Link to the Past is moving to high B tier. Link Between Worlds to A tier. Now, Skyward Sword is gonna be our first S tier. A personal favorite of mine. Just listen to this first use of an entire full live orchestra in the Zelda series. Battle of the Goddesses classic. Many of you already know that the melody is just Zelda's theme in reverse. But here we have some of my favorite themes in the entire series. We have the romance theme. Groos's theme. There are those chords again, if you didn't notice. Anyways, an easy S tier. Now on to Triforce Heroes. I don't know much about this game. I don't have high expectations for the soundtrack. Let's check it out. Whoa. Bro, what? Maybe the first song blew me away, but let's check out some other ones before we make a decision. Okay, full on Celtic. I love it. I am honestly blown away. Are we about to put this in S tier?
Please, no!
Celtic music holds a special place in my heart.
No!
I can't believe I'm about to do this.
No!
Triforce Heroes is our second S tier.
No!
C tier.
That was not smart. That was not smart.
Now on to Link's Awakening Remastered. Remember what I was saying earlier about Link's Awakening being mostly held back by just the sound of the Game Boy itself? This fixed that, and it fixed it so well. The instrumentation on this track is just so beautiful. With the whole game in general, I'll probably have to devote another video to how much this game improved the old one soundtrack. We don't have time for that right now.
And now, our feature presentation.
Tears of the Kingdom is a huge step up in my opinion from Breath of the Wild. For one, I'll say the boss themes are vastly improved. But what really sells this game musically for me, this game has my favorite main theme of all the Zelda games, by far. So let's check it out. Ooh, that's the Breath of the Wild lick. And here's a theme. Whoop. And this air hoot line is the best. Then we have saxophone. There's our oh, wait a second. There was our natural 6 again. I like it better than Link to the Past. In fact, I think I like it better than Ocarina of Time 2. The only thing that can beat this is Skyward Sword. So we're gonna put Tears of the Kingdom second in the S tier. This has been fun and all, but we have 2 problems. First of all, this goes here. I'm sorry, it's good, but it's not that good. And this, what on earth was I thinking? It's amazing. I'm sorry I don't really have time for any more than that, but you can go here. Okay?